So,
oops.
Ignore
that's
that.
not
don't
Ignore
look.
that. There we go. That's not professional to the live stream.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's been a while.
Hey, I feel like it's like fucking riding a bicycle, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
Do they say that about
don't know.
podcasts?
Podcasting is like riding a bike.
bicycle. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I it just came back pretty fast because it's been a while. What do we have here, Adam?
I don't actually remember how to pronounce this, but it's a Hawaiian liqueur that's basically a substitute for rum.
Okay.
Okolahau, I think.
Say that. Try.
Okolahau? That's probably not right.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's interesting. It's different.
Okola, how the hell do you say that?
It's
Nice.
It's kind of nice with just pineapple juice and some lemon. So
Okay.
So is that what you
try
have
to-
there?
try to do
Pineapple
that, yeah,
juice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what the measurements are?
Offhand, no.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Can I see it?
You can look up whatever you want.
Whoa. We're a bartending.
This was
podcast.
a last minute idea on my part. So,
Pineapple juice and it's lemon juice?
yeah.
Okay. So probably
I think it's like
it's probably 1 and 1 or 1.5 and 1.5 and then 2 or 1 if
Something
you want
like
to
that.
make it more
Yeah.
or less boozy. So that's probably what it is. Let me grab some ice.
that might be helpful, I guess. You asked if I needed anything for this, and I was like, just some glasses. Didn't think about ice.
I mean, I'm going to guess the pineapple juice is cold.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it would be okay. Lemon juice is cold too. It's all been in the fridge.
yeah.
But no, it's a interesting, different kind of liquor that I don't know how much you're into rum specifically, but I think that's adjacent to whiskey. So Hagen and I are both can appreciate that.
I like rum and cokes.
This might be good with Coke. I don't know.
Well, I like rum in other things too. Yeah, I like rum. I don't buy it.
You just
But
consume it.
if someone's
somewhere,
like,
if
"Would
it's
you
there."
like this wonderful
Yeah.
Hawaiian? What is it called?"
I don't know how to say it. I feel bad. I don't know how
Well,
to say
no.
it.
What's the drink called?
Oh, I have no idea.
Hawaiian cocktail.
Hawaii-
It's called Hawaiian cocktail.
We're doing our best.
This
Why do we have a Hawaiian cocktail here, Adam?
Oh, because I went to Hawaii. and,
there you go.
Shit.
That's part of why I was gone.
Before we dive into this, why don't we just go ahead and just get a little... Oh, that feels fucking good.
I missed that
Damn,
sound.
it's been a while.
Oh, that feels fucking great. Yeah. Morning. Welcome to Don't Feed the Artist. I'm Hagen.
I'm Dave.
I'm Adam,
It's been a while. We broke up.
but now we're back,
Well,
and
yeah.
we're not going to acknowledge why.
You didn't see the YouTube description, but I put in the
Oh,
title, we broke up, ... In the description, I said, we're going to try and kiss and make up on this episode.
Okay.
So,
That's
Oh,
what
I didn't see the
everybody's here
description.
for.
That's funny.
yeah, so we're hostile
They
today.
just want to see us kiss.
They just want to see us kiss.
Now kiss.
Okay, so now, Adam, why do we have this drink?
So I went to Hawaii, my wife and I, for 10 days,
Adam couldn't handle the fact that we broke up, so he took off
and
to
so then I
Hawaii.
turned to drinking in Hawaii. Yeah,
Yeah, as one does. Look, I don't need that much ice, so just give me that.
Dave will be okay.
Yeah.
It's not about how much, it's about the, whatever.
Dave said as soon as you left, Dave said, "Well, that everything else is cold, right?"
It's not the point. All right, let me see.
I
this
drink
thing.
beer and whiskey at home. I don't make cocktails really. So
Yeah, but
some of us aren't professional bartenders.
I'm not a professional bartender. Does this
You'd
need?
be pretty close to it.
Yeah.
No, not at all. So you were in Hawaii, and you ran to Hawaii to drink this cocktail? Or you
Yeah, that's the only reason we went. No, we just hadn't. I'd been once as a kid, but haven't been as an
Hand
adult.
me that.
Hadn't been to the Big Island at all, so we spent most of our time there. Much more relaxed than the touristy part of Oahu, which is cool and for what it is, but I don't think I would spend 10 days there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But it was a very enjoyable, relaxing trip. Absolutely understand how people in Hawaii don't care about anything that goes on in the mainland. Because any political news, I was just like, I don't fucking care.
Right.
That happened 12 hours ago. Well, it's not 12 hours time difference, but it's like from the East Coast to Hawaii, it's 7 hours,
Yeah.
maybe 8 hours. I can't remember offhand, but it's enough to where you're just like, well, the day's already over for everybody else in the country, so I don't really care what's going on. So
What did you what Sorry, I got distracted. What was that last thing?
Saline,
Oh. I don't know what that means.
salt water.
Oh.
makes things taste better.
You salt your food. You season your food. Season your drink.
Okay.
And if this is no good, then we'll just pretend this didn't happen.
I hope it's horrible. Okay, so no matter how it tastes, we have to be like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Do we?
I don't know if you have to.
Let's do that. Let's see
do we?
if it's horrible. Let's see if we can not react to it being bad, so that they'll never know.
This liquor is only sold in Hawaii. Not really because of like a good reason necessarily. It's because it doesn't have a lot of white appeal.
So okay.
It's possible it's like it has no appeal and only works in like certain tiki drinks.
Okay.
I wish I had tiki stuff.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten into that actually.
It's too much. Tiki stuff is too much.
It is. You have to get really commit to it.
One of
If
the
you're
guys
gonna
I
go in on
follow
that.
is like so into tiki cocktails, and let me tell you, I do not give a shit when he's making a tiki drink. I'm like, dude, too much stuff.
But drinking them though is great.
Yeah, it sure looks fucking fun, but he puts like 1,000 fucking things in it. It's like, oh my, and you have to have the fancy glass. Like it's like the
There's a
tiki
tiki glass?
tiki glassware.
One of the things that we stayed at a resort on the last 2 days before we came back. Like on the west side of the Big Island. So the east side is like always gets hit by hurricanes. So they don't really invest too much in doing a lot of construction over there. It's much more laid back and like hope nothing happens. But if it does, you didn't lose too much. So all the resorts are on the west coast. Went to a tiki bar there, the place that supposedly invented the Mai Tai. I don't know if that's true. Sounds like a thing that they would make up, right?
Yeah.
But they had a flight of tiki drinks, and I was just thinking, like, that poor bartender is putting so much effort into making a 3-ounce miniature version of a cocktail
Right.
Pretty sick.
because those have so many ingredients
They have
and have so much going on.
many ingredients.
Well, hold on. They're batch making.
Plus, you got to have like all the mint and everything too.
I mean, at most they were making like one full size one and then splitting it into 4, maybe. But even still, that's a lot of work for that. So
Cheers.
To kissing and making up.
Not yet.
Yeah, fuck you both.
Fuck you. That's so good.
Wow. That's delicious.
maybe it's only good in Hawaii.
No, yeah, it's good. It's
It feels like it is missing something, but I don't know what.
it's very it's,
Tart.
Yeah, it's very very fruit bitter forward. It's nice though. It's good. I like it.
It seems like one of those things that could benefit from like some really obscure bitters you've never heard of.
Yeah, I don't really like. So they use this in place of rum. You said
Yeah, like white rum, not dark rum.
It tastes like a tequila drink. It tastes like a tequila cocktail. It doesn't taste like a rum cocktail at all. And there's no smell,
Yeah,
or I can't smell.
it's
oh
no.
God.
It's a little strange.
Okay, so you were in Hawaii on vacation, and that was part of when you being gone. You don't have to say everywhere you were, but you were gone other places too.
Then I went to Pennsylvania for
Not
work.
a coincidence.
No coincidence there at all. If anything, was there for work.
Nothing.
I definitely flew out the day before that happened.
Yes.
But
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
I did drive straight by there on my way to Pittsburgh, and I was like, in hindsight, I'm very glad I left that day. Instead of my original plan was leaving on Saturday, I would have not been able to get home.
Yeah. Some would say you just missed it.
Yeah. Some would say that.
Others said that too.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So you were doing that, and then I feel like the other shit we were doing was just like out of town gigs, etc. It was like there was one week where Dave got me on this gig.
Yeah.
Where
You're welcome. No, when we explain the rest of the story,
My turn?
you'll see why that's I'm being seafish.
Oh, I see. I thought you were just leaning into the breakup bit.
No.
Whatever. Anyway, so Dave got me on this gig, and it was a Carrie Underwood cover band thing. And then on the Sunday before that gig, so 6 days before, there's a text about the gig leading up, and it says, "Cool, we're gonna do the Miranda Lambert set and then the Carrie Underwood set." And I was like, "The what now?"
The what set? I had sent you the Carrie Underwood set months in advance.
In January.
Yeah. And I was like, don't.
January.
I was like, don't.
So much has changed since January.
Don't even look at this until June.
Yeah.
At the earliest. And then, surprise, here's 24 more songs.
Yeah. So,
Or 20, it ended up being 26.
Yeah. And the way that I learn music best is to wait. If I start
under pressure.
Yeah, kind of. It's not the pressure that gets me. It's just like if I start learning music early, I'm gonna fucking forget it.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm gonna remember. Like if I start learning the Carrie Underwood set like in May to lead up to a July gig, I'm gonna forget. So I need the songs to be fresh, right? You would think that just like the reps would do it, but like if I do reps from fucking May or April all the way to July, I'm gonna hate every piece of that music, and who knows how much is even gonna stick at that point realistically.
Exactly.
So it was all kind of leading up to that moment of I'd already started working on the Carrie stuff, and then here's more, right? But I hadn't really gotten into the Carrie stuff yet, so it's like, okay, cool. Now here's 40 whatever songs in a week. It was a blast. It was so much fun.
When we end up editing our gig vlog, we'll put a lot of that footage in there.
Yeah.
Because it's both of us on stage.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
You fucking nailed it.
Thanks.
If I can
Thanks.
speak on to how you did, I'm so impressed. I'm still thoroughly impressed, and I've already had you up at the top of my books in terms of like, oh, we need a musician. Hagen can do it.
Yeah.
Even more so now, it's just like I might even put you ahead of my own self because, like, and it's the first time you've batched tunes that much. That you've just done like, here's 40 songs. Good luck, motherfucker.
Just imagining like Dave getting offered a gig now, and he's like, "No, you should have Hagen do it."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He did a really great job.
I did it with Hightower the first time I played with them, where I had that many songs to learn in that amount of time. But it was also different because we were doing different arrangements to stuff.
Sure.
And this was just like, here's the songs, learn them. Go, now.
And when, no rehearsal, which
Yeah.
we should say that because most people that are listening that might not be gigging professional musicians would expect there to be many rehearsals.
Yeah.
Not a single rehearsal.
No rehearsal.
We got together and talked about the songs, but played no notes.
Hadn't met the guitar player until
No.
that moment.
Yeah.
And
Met the singer twice.
After I saw you guys play already.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was a blast. Drove out to Amarillo and played this place. Now the whole reason that I bring this up is yes, the learning the song story is fascinating, but the place we played was wild. Okay, so Adam, have you been to Amarillo before?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Have you spent time there or driven through it?
Unfortunately, both.
Okay, so Amarillo is like it's like to me when you drive through Amarillo, you're probably going to Colorado and you're like, I'm done with Texas, basically, right? It's that point. So it's like 5-ish hours away from where we are right now, and so it's that point where you're like, I'm free of Texas. So it's Texas, but also it's a weird part of Texas.
It's like Kansas and Texas kind of blended together.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it is up there. They get snow. It's weird.
Yeah. It is weird. It was colder.
The weather was much
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, it was
and
like-
when the sun even came close to going down,
Yeah.
the temperature dropped.
Yeah.
So like the place we're playing, we roll up to it, and it was this little tiny like shack out front, and then you keep going back, and that shack is the restaurant, but you keep going all the way back, and they have this huge fucking plot of land, and the owners of this place were originally from Padre Island, so they wanted to bring Padre to Amarillo, so they brought tons of sand, and I mean literal
162 or 3 tons of sand.
and just put it in this
Yeah,
plot of
dude.
land. So it's a beach in Amarillo. And the only part that really was tough was like where we were, there wasn't sand. It was like the stage and then all the fucking sand. But the bathrooms we had to walk to, we had to walk in our cowboy boots or our Chelsea boots through the sand, which sucked.
Doesn't work.
No,
Yeah.
that doesn't work at all. Until we were offered a ride on the golf cart.
Our man Bob.
Our man Bob was like, we were like, we're gonna go to the bathroom, and he's like, you want to ride? And we were all like,
We thought about it for a long time.
because it
Far away are the bathrooms.
it was just awkward to walk over there.
Okay.
Maybe from one side of Hagen's house to the other. But
Okay.
when you're walking in sand, it feels like 3 times that.
Sure. Yeah.
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 And it was fun to just drive on the golf cart around to the bathrooms.
Sure. Sure.
I was like, every gig's got to have
Every
a
gig should
golf-
have that now
golf
if it's
cart
outside.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
It
that
was dusty.
Yeah, that too.
It rained.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I
yeah.
thought my gear was ruined.
Yep. That was a
We
whole
were at the
thing, too.
hotel, and I was like, man, I hope it doesn't rain. And our guitar player, Christian, was like, it did. I was like, what? What the fuck? We didn't have to be there till 6. We hightailed it out of there at 5:15.
Yeah.
Because we were like, let's get back to the venue. And thankfully, again, Hagen drove because you have the SUV. You got to take your drums and all our gear.
Yeah.
Our gear was back on stage. We weren't sure if anybody was watching it for us.
Yeah.
I'm flipping out on the way to make sure our gear is okay, and Hagen's just trying to be the sweetest guy ever, and like trying to talk me off a ledge, essentially. I was like, if they didn't cover our gear, I'm never fucking playing this place again, and I hate this venue. But if they covered it, I love them, and thank you for doing that.
I think the exact quote was, if they didn't cover my gear, the gig's ruined. The day's ruined.
Yeah.
It's over. It's over.
fucking
It's
over.
ruined. It's
Yeah.
ruined. Which I get. I totally understand. 100% understand.
As a drummer, he was like, what do you mean? We'll be okay.
Water and wood's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It'll dry.
So that gig happened. It was long, stressful, but it was a ton of fun. And then the following week, I was in Oklahoma. I had all that to handle, which was a whole nother situation. I can't tell the story. I wish I could, but I can't. But we had like basically to summarize, last minute cancellations. Like day of, we're leaving for the trip, and like people are canceling, and I'm like, well, I don't know how we're gonna do this. Then this is crazy.
That's always what you want to hear a couple days before.
Exactly. So, then from then on, it's just been kind of just more and more busyness from us. I don't know what else have you been doing, Dave?
Just busyness.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. Just gigs that I've had to get ready for, and essentially just being like, I can't remember.
Well, and we talked about doing an episode a couple times, but it was just like, we might as well just keep waiting, and then whenever Adam gets back, then
Summer vacation.
Exactly, summer vacation, and everyone needs a little summer vacation sometimes.
Yeah, I think towards the end we just kind of relinquished and we're like, let's take a break.
Yeah, which is totally needed. So here we are now, and really, there's so much to talk about. It's kind of hard to decide what to talk about. So, I decided that we would talk about basically just two things, and you guys know what they are. But one of them, I'm so excited about, and I'm sure you guys saw it, which was just the Olympics, the Gojira at the opening ceremony.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't either.
Oh
I know.
my god!
You mentioned it to us, and I was like, neither of us are going to watch that before the episode.
I almost watched it, and then I was like,
they're
I'm going to
French,
wait
right?
because
Yeah, they're
we're
French.
gonna.
That's why.
They're a French
I
metal
hope-
band. Yeah.
I hope they're French.
So I have it pulled up so we can watch it. So audio listeners, I apologize if this is a little bit boring because you can't see it, but that's more incentive to go to YouTube, come and watch us, or watch it yourself. You'll be able to hear it though for sure, at least hypothetically.
Also, it's a 3-minute long
we won't
video.
watch the whole thing. We won't watch the whole thing.
okay.
Yeah. We'll just kind of get the
skip ahead 3 minutes.
The gist.
The Sparks notes.
The Sparks notes. So this is part of the opening ceremony. There was a lot that happened at the opening ceremony, and we'll kind of dive into more of that. But the main point is Gojira at the opening ceremony of the Olympics. Here it is.
What building is that? Is that like a parliament building?
It's probably important, but we're American, so we don't know.
I believe so. So the whole thing is supposed to be like French Revolution imagery. And Ian said in the chat, I think it was a French war song. So I believe that it is based off of a French war song. That's what she said. Whatever she says at the very beginning is like a French anthem from the 19th century.
Okay.
So it's all like, Marie Antoinette beheaded says the name of the.
Okay.
So the whole thing is like that whole part of the imagery of the opening ceremony was very French Revolution based. Super cool. Obviously, they're not actually playing those like during it. That was obviously recorded, but we're not here to care about that because this is probably one of the biggest moments in metal ever.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Has there been any other metal artist who's done
something like that?
An opening ceremony for like the Olympics? I don't think so.
No, definitely not. And I like Super Bowl's never had it. Like think about like the biggest moments where you could have someone perform, and this is insane. There is later in the thing where an opera singer comes in as well, and there's other parts of the opening ceremony people are upset about. To Sparks' notes, as you so eloquently said earlier, the part people are upset about is that people are claiming there's a lot of satanic satanic imagery in that because of whatever.
That's cool. They're French.
It's not 1940. Like, what do these people think we're trying to do?
That's where they're trying to go.
Yeah, but it's insane.
There's also, if you continue watching, there's also a whole thing people think is like supposed to be the Last Supper.
I've seen that. I've seen pictures of that.
Yeah, but it's actually based off of like Greek mythology and Dionysus and like festive, and like there's imagery that's based off as well, because the Olympics, I don't know if you guys know this, is from Greece.
Right.
So like
it's like, also, do we really think that like Jesus and his friends were the only ones to ever sit at a table for a picture in history?
Sure.
Well, that artwork is inspired by the Greek thing.
And also
that's the funniest part.
Is Italian, not French.
Right.
So it's even more confusing where they got this from, because it's all, like, outside of the fact that like there's Greek stuff, but the Greek stuff is because it's the Olympics. Everything else is French influence. So
it's just so narrow-minded to go like, "Oh, they're making fun of the Last Supper." It's like, come on, man.
They're making fun of the Last Supper, and then there's metal music with the flames and stuff like that. So it's like it's this satanic
Scary.
imagery. Yeah, exactly. But so the like Gojira has gone on record. The drummer said, "What a tremendous honor to be a part of this ambitious and epic ceremony in Paris. I have to admit that headbanging in front of 1 billion people, hitting as hard as I could in a revolutionary scenario made of fire and blood, was a very gratifying experience. A big step for the metal community." And other members of Gojira have also said like the whole satanic thing is based in nothing, and it's not real. Like, that's not what this is. I can't find the quote right now, but there's one quote that's like, if you think this is satanic, you're missing the point.
Right.
You're entirely missing the point of what this is. Like, this is the farthest thing from satanic. So it is really cool. I think that's fucking awesome. I've watched that so many times, because it really is, like, as a metalhead through and through, like one of the coolest things to watch that happen in front of so many people, and just watch those people actually like play that hard.
I just can't wait for like 2 weeks from now when I'm like, dude, did you guys see that Gojira performance at the Olympics or something? It's like, I finally fucking watched it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's great.
So who's going to do the 2028 Olympics in LA?
That'll be like Super Bowl again.
Pick somebody like if they picked an American metal artist.
If they picked a metal,
if that's just a thing now,
if
we just have metal in the Olympics.
That would be Metallica, just simply based on the California
that's too bad.
Yeah, it would definitely be Metallica, unfortunately. But I would be happy regardless. Like, if it's a metal band doing something this mainstream, I'm all here for it. Especially because a lot of those guys, like a lot of the guys in Metallica, I have my problems with their playing, like just Lars really. But like a lot of them are big supporters of what's happening in metal right now. They talk about it frequently.
That's a good point.
They're really into not just like their lives. They listen to a lot of young modern metal. And Gojira has also they've been around since, I believe it's somewhere in the 90s. I can't remember where, but they've been one of the staples of metal. If you guys know that, like that pick scrape sound in metal, that's called a Gojira pick scrape.
Like the carbon thing?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that literally is called a Gojira pick scrape, Gojira scrape or whatever.
I love that.
Yeah, and so it's like they're a band that has already been a staple in the metal community for their lives, and to be put in this scenario is like, holy shit, that is so cool.
But those are like all these tiny little moments throughout I feel like this last year and a half that we've been bringing up about pop artists collaborating with metal artists like Pliny and all of these people. Like, this is where it leads.
Yeah.
Because it opens the door and people are like, what? Oh, it's not scary. It's actually really cool. Mm-hmm. And for something that needs to be intense and energetic, such as the Olympics, some of these people's most intense moments of their entire lives, it makes sense to have intense, heavy music.
Well, and the imagery,
it's kind of perfect for that.
Yeah. The imagery they're going for there is the French Revolutionary stuff.
Right.
Why not have something that's that intense behind it?
Exactly.
Why not have that intensity with fire in front of you the entire time when you're trying to have that kind of imagery? I think that makes a ton of sense. And yeah, I'm here for it 100%. Very, very happy about it. So that's kind of the main thing I want to talk about as far as news. And then the reason we're here is because we broke up and we're back together. We kissed and made up. Someone else broke up and did not
not yet
make up. Yeah. I don't know if they will.
Depends on the money.
Yes. That's true. Yeah, I suppose that's true. So I'm sure everybody has heard about the Tenacious D of it all. Okay, I do have that video pulled up as well.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it happen.
The angle's not I couldn't find the other video that I saw where you could actually see Jack Black's face a little bit better. But
I know. I think you said he like laughs at it.
Does,
because
yeah.
it is a joke.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll play the video in just a second. But for those who don't know, who haven't heard about this, Tenacious D was performing in Australia about 2 weeks ago, and it was right after the attempted Trump assassination, and they. It was Kyle Gass's birthday, so they were bringing out a birthday cake, and they said make a wish, and he said don't miss next time, and it was it was immediate backlash after the show, which you'll see during the show. You don't feel that. You don't feel that kind of energy here.
To be fair, it's not at it's not a U.S. show.
It's in Australia. Yeah, it's in Australia.
So how supportive are they going to be?
Or I mean, anyway.
At a U.S. show, I could imagine there might be some booing.
Yeah.
At a Tenacious D show?
That's still, I think there are people who don't understand the lyrics of things they listen to.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they keep rediscovering that, like, oh, so-and-so hates him. I hate you too. Like,
or the whole like, oh my God, Rage Against the Machine is like political.
Yeah.
What do you think was the machine? Ian makes a great point. They're a joke band, and I think we'll talk about that too in just a little bit. But yeah. So here's the footage of that.
It's like up until he says that sentence, this band is fine.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Make a wish, Canada. Don't miss Trump next time.
I don't think I realized he said
don't miss
so
Trump next
specifically.
time.
Yeah.
We love you, kids. Better take it backstage and cut it into pieces, please.
Oh.
So yeah, that's the footage of that. And like
Jack Black is immediately like, oh no.
Yeah, but in the other footage, so in that footage you see him kind of like his hands are on his knees, but on the other footage I saw, like you can see him still smiling and he like laugh, like it's like, and it could be like a, oh God, how do I react to this?
Yeah.
But there is an aspect where it is kind of funny. Like even if it's in poor taste, it is kind of funny.
Also, are we not assuming that if it was Biden that was almost assassinated, that a band of similar ilk on the Republican side wouldn't have made the same joke?
I could go on for a really long time.
It's a complicated topic now.
Sure.
Yeah, no. I'm 100% with you on that. I could go on for a really long time about the rhetoric of a lot of violent conservatives just being more violent, and then this happens, and then like people on the left start to have just a tinge of that, like that kind of statement, and they're like, oh my God. I could go on for a long time about that. I'm not saying that either one is okay, but the interesting thing I do want to mention, you mentioned that, like, you know, it's not the crowd necessarily that would have a reaction to this, as they're in Australia.
Yeah, they wouldn't have a negative reaction at least.
But the former Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd, said, it makes me sick someone would joke about violence. Physically ill. People might think it's a bit of funny ha-ha at a concert to run off at the mouth about this stuff. It's not. It's about threats of physical life. It's about the near assassination of a former and prospective president of the United States, depending on the votes of the American people. It's about the murder of innocent civilians and two people being seriously wounded. These people need to grow up and find a decent job. Is the former president of Australia, Kevin Rudd. He said that.
I'm pretty sure got voted out of office if I remember my vague understanding of Australian politics.
I'm not shocked by that.
So
I don't think
that seems like a half-assed, like, weird statement though, because like there is a really good point there about, like, you're making fun of people who did die.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah,
they had nothing to do with that. They're not the ones inciting this. Whatever.
100%.
There is an aspect where, yeah, that's bad. Don't joke about that for that reason alone on its own. But you can also get into, you know, don't joke about it in general about a potential presidential candidate.
So after this happened, Jack Black posted, Tenacious D posted that they are going on is like a indefinite like break, basically. Like they didn't say they're breaking up per se, but it's pretty close to that. And Kyle Gass posted an apology. He said, "I don't condone violence of any kind, any form against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologize to those I've let down and truly regret any pain I've caused." And then he fucking deleted it.
I mean, how quickly did he delete it?
Don't know if it's back up, but...
how quickly did he delete it, though? Because was that like I'm going to put this up, try and meet some legal requirement, maybe?
Maybe.
And then be like, yeah, I did mean it, though.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe. I don't know. So, yeah, he deleted it. I think the fact he deleted it is pretty fucking funny.
Pretty telling, also.
Yeah. So I think that this kind of opens up many floodgates. The first thing is, as Ian said in the chat, Tenacious D is already a jokey band, right? They are already just like a band full of jokes. They literally, in their movie, have a massive sequence that is part of the plot about being good at cock push-ups.
Right.
I'm not saying that's equivalent to making a joke about violence, but we're gonna like that's who we're talking about here. And the main reason I bring
and he's still got to do his voiceover work, having that in his
exactly.
history.
That's the main reason I bring it up is that Jack Black is now, he's been like such a kid star, right? Been doing movies like
Kung Fu Panda.
He's gonna be in the Minecraft movie,
Jumanji.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got all 4 of the major studios. He's done big giant movies with them.
Yeah.
Mostly as a voiceover guy.
Right. And so it's very strange to me that this is his
That's
pushover
the
play.
line.
Yeah, because he's like Tenacious D, everything. It was already like already considered, I would say, by conservative standards, offensive. Right?
Oh, very offensive.
Yeah.
But they've probably never heard it.
Or just don't care.
Yeah.
I wonder if this was the straw that broke the camel's back, because there is a whole thing about Kyle having like substance abuse issues, but I also don't know if he really did or if that was part of their whole shtick of them breaking up all the time on stage.
Right. Yeah.
Because there was a bit in their show where something like that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe this was the straw that broke the camel's back for some reason.
It's a strange one.
He got a threatening phone call from DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's possible, but it's just like it's a one joke that was made on stage in Australia, not even in America.
Yeah. Also, it wasn't really like covered by American press because a lot of people in America are like, who?
It was covered by all the music, like
sure,
press.
yeah.
That
But I
was
mean,
it.
like
Yeah.
mainstream like news. The news cycle alone is too quick, especially recently.
Well,
where like that didn't stick around. They could have done nothing, never acknowledged it, and it would have disappeared.
Yeah.
go ahead.
They could have made it through that 100%. And Jack Black also could have had his statement be, I don't agree with what Kyle said, but he has the right to free speech.
Right.
Because if we remember, the Dixie Chicks getting canceled, but they stuck together and they made it through that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have easily put out a statement saying like, I don't agree, or he was an asshole for saying that, whatever, and then like not have that ruin everything. It could have even included canceling the remaining dates. I don't know how many they had.
Yeah.
But
yeah, sorry, I should have had this pulled up already. Jack Black said he felt he was blindsided by the comment. He would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. He said he didn't feel it was appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and the rest of the group's creative plans are on hold. So
has he never made a negative remark about Trump? I find that hard to believe.
No, he 100% has.
Yes, so.
But it's just the fact that
I understand like if it's too far, I get that.
It's
but
the
at the
political
same time,
violence thing. That's all it is. It's to me, it's a thing.
It just seems like a weird like this is the thing that was too far.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm biting my tongue so much.
Hey,
there's so much I'm not saying.
You can say what you want.
No, I shouldn't.
It'll be on the internet forever.
I shouldn't.
I mean, if you really want, I could mute you on the live stream. We can test it if you want to see.
No, it's nothing. It's not like a joke or anything, but it's just further going into the discussion about what happened to Donald Trump, and it's like, I mean, he made his bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big aspect of that to me. Where like I don't know how many
you got it, Dave.
Heather in the chat.
I don't know how many like trucks y'all have seen around with like Biden tied up in the truck, like in the bed of the truck. But there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
And so is that not political violence that we're talking about?
Exactly.
Obviously, it's more complicated because like that didn't happen. But
yeah. I think it's a weird thing for me where like obviously we've experienced in our lives artists like being a part of all sorts of things happening in the political climate. We've talked about politics and music and art.
It's a
and
huge
the
part of the history of music.
100%.
Yeah.
And I feel like this kind of reaction is like it's one that I mean in so many ways like he made his bed.
Yeah.
And more what I mean by that is we could go on the he made his bed. We shouldn't be shocked that someone tried this, but we also could go on the whole thing of like he has made his bed by literally making fun of every single person. Donald Trump has making fun of every single person that's ever existed
and
basically.
saying anything he wants at any
including
point.
his own supporters.
Yeah.
And a president needs to be held to a higher standard than Kyle Gass from Tenacious D.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing.
That's why it feels weird. Is it's like this? Jack Black is mad about this.
Yeah.
Not about. I mean, he is mad about the rest of it, but he's not.
Sure.
He's not vocally mad about it because he's got to protect his DreamWorks paychecks.
He literally he made a joke. It's a 64-year-old man.
Also, I mean, it's not even a good joke.
Yeah.
No.
It's
Pretty funny, but it's not.
Well, like it would have been funnier if it was less like direct.
Yeah,
Like, He fumbled like the delivery of the joke even.
Yeah.
So like it's not a good joke for like that to ruin your
Because
career.
he could have said, he could have just said, "Don't miss next time."
Yeah, and
then when they asked him about it, he
It's
could have been
funnier
like,
then.
"I was talking about like letting me blow out the candles
Sure.
or whatever
Yeah,
to
yeah.
deflect
Yeah.
from it."
Yeah, there's a number of things could have done. I think that the kind of big thing outside of the political side of this is I don't necessarily I understand where Jack Black is coming from, but it sure feels like baby shoes to me. It feels like we could probably react in a different way than just saying I'm done with the band straight up.
Which I mean, to Dave's point, that does kind of feel like more of like this is the time where he's like, okay, I'm done this time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Who knows what has happened in the past between them where it's like maybe that it was amazing they went on tour at all.
Right.
I mean, they've been a band for how many fucking years? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I
least
could
20.
totally see
Yeah.
if he's like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. But like,
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like there's a thing with Tenacious D where like they weren't doing stuff for it felt like a little bit, and then for the last few years they've been like touring like crazy. And maybe that was a breaking point thing, like you said. Maybe it's just a guy who's a little sensitive about like what public pressure he's gonna get, and maybe it's like maybe he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna accept like what the public's gonna do, and I'll just end it. I'll just end it right there, so that way there's no controversy. It's done and done. But it kind of like got me thinking about like other breakups and if they felt as baby shoes or if they were as if they were reasonable in the slightest. And to be fair, I don't like, we've talked about a lot of not a lot. We talked about breakups on the show before, and they largely, when I think about them, feel like baby shit. I don't know. Like I don't. It's a weird thing for me. It's like the Metallica, like the Dave Mustaine thing. That's not like a breakup, but kicking someone out of the band, right? Is like, okay, he kicked the dog, but there's like a lot of other, like, I feel like Dave Mustaine is a baby. Like, he reacts like a child. Yeah. And of course he got kicked out, right? Like, he kicks a dog, and then I got kicked out of the band. No fucking shit. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? I feel like that's so many of these stories of just like, what did you think? Where were you at during all of this?
Wait, hold on. Sorry, are we saying Dave Mustaine kicked a dog?
Yeah.
And got kicked out of Metallica?
We talked about this.
Didn't know.
Didn't
You did know this.
I don't remember.
We
that.
talked. We
there's
did
probably
a Metallica
probably
episode.
a recording that you do know that.
I know. That's fine. I just forgot about it.
Yeah, I can't remember whose dog he kicked, but he kicked a member of Metallica's dog, and that wasn't the reason he got kicked out. But
Right, but
that was
I mean, to that point though, that's like that might be the thing that was like, okay, this is enough. Like
Yeah.
we're done.
Right.
right.
And that seems to be, especially with bands, a common thing of like maybe they were a shitty person all along and they just put up with it. But eventually there's something that they do where they're just like, nope, fuck you, we're done.
Yeah, and so I like I have like a little bit of like list stuff to look at, and we don't have to like go through this as like very much. There's stuff we've talked about before, but it's worth talking about, I think. just like whether it be breaking up or like someone getting kicked out. I think the Lennon McCartney stuff is always so fascinating to me. I think it's a miracle that the Beatles got along at all. Like for any time, like, you know,
well, for as many albums as they had to do also.
Yeah. I think that those two like fighting it's seriously like some kind of miracle that one of them didn't just go like, okay, I'm leaving years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, we didn't hear McCartney make those jokes.
But we kind of heard Lennon.
Yeah, we did. We heard songs. There are songs.
Yeah. We kind of heard Lennon make those jokes and also say he's Jesus and stuff like that, which is like, could you imagine if Lennon was alive to this day and still said he was Jesus, how much shit he would get?
Well, I do remember he said
probably be president.
Oh my God. We are parting ways with Adam. Did McKinney? Oh God. Didn't he say we're bigger than Jesus?
Oh yeah.
Because he was talking about
that's
the
right.
fame of the band,
It's
not saying
more than
he
that.
wasn't proclaiming.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's my fault. My fault on the misquote. But yes, but that still is incredibly, for many people, very, very offensive. You can't say that. You can't say those kinds of things.
It makes sense that they broke up though, because they met when they were kids.
Yeah.
And then grew
Well,
into
that's another-
the biggest thing on the planet.
Another aspect of this too, with a lot of bands that break up, is it does seem like there's a thing of they were obviously friends and at least worked together well before they were famous, and then something changes when that happens.
Do you think
And
it's fame
that
or just
seems-
growing up, or maybe
I
both?
think probably both, depending on when a lot of people start bands. Tends to be when they're younger.
Yeah.
When these cases happen, right? Where like
Yeah.
you start a band that happens to be successful, and you're also growing up and becoming a different person. You're now famous. There's all these different things that combine to make it so like, well, maybe it's no surprise that people don't get along.
Yeah. I actually I actually coincidentally saw a Instagram reel today that was like, here's some red flags for people if you want to join a band. Like, here's some things to look out for. If someone has these kinds of qualities, then ignore them. And a lot of it was like, you know, if someone is not mature, or if someone there was two that I felt were like the same. Like, if someone only has like their best interest at heart, like they just want to party or whatever, and then the next one was like if they're immature. I'm like, those feel like the same thing.
Yeah.
But in they're also different, but they feel very similar, right? And I feel like if you look at a lot of these situations, it's like, man, someone needed a fucking wake up call and is not getting it. The Nick Oliveri from Queens of the Stone Age, that one is scary, but also like, man, how did this last as long as it did?
When we think about so Nick Oliveri got kicked out of Queens of the Stone Age for abusing his wife.
Yeah, it was abusing his wife and abusing lots of drugs. It was both. Yeah.
The if I remember, Josh Homme was like, if I find out that this is true, you're fucking dead. Like, you're out of the band.
Yeah.
And we also have to put into context the state that band was in in those times.
That's true.
Of the
That's
band.
true.
Yeah.
There was lots of limits being pushed on all sides from everybody in that band.
Yeah.
Maybe aside from Dave Grohl, but maybe
Well,
including Dave Grohl.
Yeah, but Dave Grohl being like this almost like limbo member, like
Sure.
somebody who like they're not sure if he's actually going to be in the band, right? So it's just somebody who's like he's
Hanging out and then going home.
he's pissed off about Foo Fighters, so he's like, I'll come play drums for you. Yeah, you know what? I hate them. I'm gonna come play with you. And they probably feel like he could go back at any second.
Right.
Especially because it's his band.
And especially because he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He did go back.
If you want to make your band feel functional, join another dysfunctional band. That's what he did.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Right. And Oasis. I know that you guys talked about Oasis years ago. Adam and Jackson did. I know parts of this, but do you guys have the cliff notes of what happened with them? They just don't get along, right?
They just didn't get along.
Sounds like maybe they never got along.
Yeah.
But grew up together, right? So like they had to get along enough, and then eventually that just got worse and worse.
Yeah, and then so Liam was not singing. Like at concerts, he would just go like, "I'm not going to sing these songs," And then Noel would have to pick up the slack, and he was eventually just like, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, we're playing these huge festivals. Why are you just not singing? And he's like, I don't know. I don't feel like it. And he's like, well, I wrote all the songs. He's like, okay, yeah, I know you wrote all the songs, but like I sing them better than you. And then they just started arguing back and forth about all that.
Yeah, and that feels like both babies.
But very much.
Yeah. Both
more
babies.
so Liam than Noel.
Sure. Yeah.
Calling him
sure,
a potato.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's always one more baby than the other, right? But
yeah.
and
That's definitely a case of like both parties were at fault there.
Yeah. Forgive me, those who know me well, forgive me, but I didn't know about the Eagle stuff. I didn't know about, and I still really don't. Like I read like a quick summary of it, but Dave, how much do you know about the Eagle stuff?
Don Henley and Glenn Fry are the Eagles,
right?
And what's his name? Glenn or something Felder.
Yeah.
He just couldn't. Don Felder couldn't. He couldn't get over that.
You had a 50% chance because it was either Don or Glenn and a different last name.
And then Felder, yeah. I got that right. But yeah, they were very, very much like at each other's throats. And there was also a lot of cocaine at that time.
Probably with most of these stories.
Honestly, that's probably
it's thread. There's a common thread.
Probably an understatement about the amount of cocaine at the Eagles.
Yeah, but I mean, in the Eagles, like there's footage of Glenn Fry on stage talking. Like they were playing for, I believe, a senator,
Alan Cranston.
yeah. And he was like, "We just want to thank you for whatever." And then when Don Felder met him backstage, he kind of made some offhand remark like, "Oh, I don't care," or whatever it was. And they just couldn't. They were on their way to stage or something. And there's footage of them at that concert with Glenn Fry just being like, "I'm gonna fucking knock you out," like into the microphone. And he's like, "Oh, do it. Yeah, I'll see you backstage." He's like, "I write your paychecks, motherfucker."
Yeah, what apparently he said, what Felder said to Cranston was, "You're welcome, Senator, I guess."
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then this is, I guess, a quote from a documentary.
Yeah.
We're on stage and Felder looks back at me and says, "Only 3 more songs till I kick your ass, pal." and Glenn
There's
Fry,
footage of that.
Yeah, Glenn Fry later said, "I'm saying great, I can't wait." And they're out there singing "Best of My Love," both inside of us thinking, as soon as this is over, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
And Don Felder smashes a guitar and gets in a limo and drives off.
And I know that there was like heat before this, but Don Felder apparently just didn't want the band to have any like political ties. He thought that it was like he didn't want the band to be politically associated at all. And so as soon as they were doing this like this show for a California senator, it was like, no, I don't want this at all. Ian said Coheed and Cambria's bassist robbed a pharmacy a couple hours before opening for Soundgarden in Massachusetts, and 2 nights later for Metallica here in Halifax. He sounds like a cool guy. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like you keep him in the band, I guess, right? It's a useful skill.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he probably got what he needed. He got his meds.
Hopefully. Yeah. But also, it's just the bass player.
It's just the bass player for Coheed and Cambria. No one's fucking.
Well, we don't know his name.
Have you tried to learn? Have you learned the bass for Welcome Home ever?
No.
It's one note.
Really?
Just the whole time.
I love songs. I like to have at least one song like that in the set.
It is like it has a couple other notes, but that's the gist, right?
You could miss those other notes and nobody will know.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, again, forgive me, everybody, but I didn't know. I obviously I knew they broke up. But I didn't know Rage Against the Machine was getting into fistfights.
I didn't know that either.
Is that when they realized they were political?
Apparently, they just couldn't stand each other. I don't know exactly what the.
I mean, that honestly is not surprising to me.
Yeah, it's
just those personalities. It's not a surprise.
Sure. Yeah, I don't. It makes sense because they're very angry people.
Yeah.
Okay. So during the filming of Sleep Now in the Fire, which was directed by Michael Moore, an altercation caused the doors of the New York Stock Exchange to be closed and the band to be escorted from the site by security after band members attempted to gain entry into the exchange. So I guess they were getting in a fight while doing this music video shoot. Yeah, this is crazy. I that's one of those things that's like I don't understand. It feels like they're all just angry and just have all this pent up rage. No.
It's hard not to say. It's hard not to say that word when we're talking about what we're talking about.
Anger
Against the machine.
Yeah. So I guess they just had a lot of pent up anger and they just wailed on each other about it. I don't know. It's very interesting. And then instantly run over to Audio Slave.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which also broke up.
I wonder who the instigator was.
Yeah.
Hard to know.
Not to blame it all on Zach De La Rocca, but I would guess it's Zach De La Rocca.
He wasn't helping.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And there's probably again a lot of substance things going on.
Which also leads me to another one which we talked about before and everyone knows, which is Fleetwood Mac.
A lot of substances.
They did they put the coke dealer in the credits? They did, right?
Yeah.
They put the coke dealer in
the liner notes.
In the liner notes for Rumors. Yeah. Which of course the album wouldn't have happened.
I don't know if he was he obviously wasn't labeled.
No.
Right?
I can't. But I remember reading of that they wanted to put him in. I just couldn't remember if they actually did.
I think they did.
I think they did too.
But somebody fact check us.
Yeah. Let us know, or don't. I don't care. I've already admitted I don't know.
Or just believe us.
I've already admitted I don't know so many things.
No, it's a fact now.
We're just talking about it. That's all we're doing. But I do. When this idea kind of came up, Dave, you said that there's silver lining in some situations. Like you're talking about at the drive-in.
Yeah. So at the drive-in is gaining a lot of popularity, and then they break up and split into two bands essentially, which is Sparta and the Mars Volta.
Right.
And out of that, we got the Mars Volta.
Right.
Because nobody remembers Sparta.
But the Mars Volta put out a bunch of really good albums.
Yeah, they did.
Until they stopped. But.
And then they started putting albums out again, and they're not good.
The Mars Volta?
I mean, I don't like the new stuff.
Oh, okay. I see.
The band sounds incredible live now, though.
Yeah.
With whoever they've got in the band.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there are plenty of other silver linings in those scenarios of people of bands who have broken up or...
Going back to Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks' solo career.
Yeah.
That's a great silver lining.
That's an absolutely great silver lining. I don't know anything about the Police.
Sting's career?
Yeah,
Sting's
exactly.
solo career?
Yeah.
My favorite part is hearing them talk about that band, and in particular hearing Stuart Copeland and Sting talk about each other. Stuart Copeland is like, because he may be an asshole, but he's a hell of a songwriter, Stingo. And he calls him Stingo, like he will not call him Sting or any other name, just Stingo.
That's great.
Yeah, and he's like, I will admit that he is just a great songwriter, and he really knows how to do it. He knows what he's doing, but we will never work together again because that man is an asshole. And he's like, we'll call and talk to each other and wish each other Merry Christmas, but we'll never work together again because that man is an asshole.
Damn.
As long as you know that, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I find that all these breakups, they feel like there's at least one or multiple parties who I'm just like, can we grow up? Mm-hmm. Like, why are we like this?
Yeah.
Why are we acting like this?
Yeah.
What is the thing here? And then sometimes there's that little silver lining.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't know why At the Drive-In broke up. I don't know what happened with them. But regardless, I mean, the silver lining there is Mars Volta, and there's plenty of other silver linings of breaking up and getting solo careers or getting what have you.
The Beatles breaking up, we got Wings and all of. Again, Paul McCartney's solo discography.
I mean, we got all of their solo material, which I think for a lot
except
of
for
people,
Ringo's, but we didn't really need that.
Yeah.
George Harrison's album that, like I mentioned on Formative Songs, that wouldn't have happened because it was a lot of rejected Beatles songs.
Yeah. Ringo just said, "I put a chair on a drum throne."
Yeah.
He got to host award shows he never would have hosted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like to talk about squids.
Yeah. Fuck. Where is it?
I faulted.
There it is.
That was almost nailed it.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
So yeah, I think the kind of summation of all of this is that for me is that a lot of times when I see bands breaking up, I instantly am like, God, why? Like who and why? In the case of Jack Black and Tenacious D, it certainly feels, even though I know Kyle Gass said the thing, it feels like Jack Black just being like, I'm not putting up with this. I'm not putting up with these jokes, even though our movie is literally just offensive joke after offensive. I don't find it offensive, but like
to be,
a lot of
I
people
guess
would.
Maybe they wouldn't make that movie now.
That's a good
guess.
point.
Maybe.
I guess.
That's a good point. I think, being in a lot of bands over the years, there is a kind of a point in a band's history where you can kind of go like, yeah, we should have broke up a while ago. Like
Sure.
In terms of personalities, you kind of go like, yeah, we should have stopped that. We could have put that down and we all would have been friends.
Yeah.
But we
That makes
kept it
sense.
going for whatever reason.
And then someone gets
Or
like,
that might
and
be
it-
that might be worse.
Yeah, and then there's the final straw at that point already when it's like, all right, fuck that guy and we're not a band anymore.
That or you keep putting out like worse and worse material
Right.
like YouTube.
that too. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, like you do.
that's true.
But kudos to them.
Imagine what we could have gotten if they broke up.
Kudos to them.
no more you two.
Less delay pedals.
True.
Kudos to you two, and kudos to like the Rolling Stones for having the original lineup for that long.
And there's something to be said for that.
That
about,
is no
like,
small feat.
You either do get along or you're at least like aware this is a business and can deal with it like
Yeah.
adults.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's very true.
And Metallica, except for just getting rid
I mean,
of
for the
bass
most
players,
part,
the
Well,
core band
they
has
didn't,
been
fair.
they didn't
Yeah.
kill their first bass player, but
Sure. Oh my God.
you said aside from getting rid of bass players.
Yeah.
The implication is they did it.
They-
It was
yeah,
an inside
no.
job.
No. But to go back to Metallica, I did see a clip the other day of them in their rehearsal space.
This is the one where he corrects him.
Yes. Where Robert Trujillo?
yeah.
he's like, oh, you're talking about this song? Yeah, it's actually, so you're doing this, and he plays a bass thing, and it's a little long, and then he goes, it's actually this, and he plays it the right thing. The guy's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Lars goes, do you know what you were probably in Mexico still when I was writing this song?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Are you
Well,
serious?
the first thing he says, he's like, what are you talking about? 5 years ago, you were in Mexico.
That's it, yeah.
And then he doubles down and goes, you were probably in Mexico selling T-shirts.
Yeah.
Selling Metallica T-shirts.
Yeah, when we were writing this song. It's so stupid.
It's
God.
like, oh my God.
And the whole time, Robert Trujillo is like, hey man, I'm sorry, I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
He's
And-
like, I love you. Like, we love
Yeah.
each other. Let's
And-
not do this.
And James comes in right away and is just like, just listen to him.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably right.
Yes.
Like,
And as someone who's been to therapy, unlike you, Lars, please stop talking.
yeah, it's that's a great clip. That's a great clip. It's a miracle that Trujillo has sat through. It's a
mean-
miracle they've all sat through Lars Ulrich.
Yes.
It's some kind
I feel
of
like at a
fucking
certain
miracle.
point though, you're just like, okay, this is how this works.
yeah.
Just let him talk and you just ignore him and you're just like,
I've had people like that in my life, and they're no longer there.
Yeah.
No,
Because
there is a good argument to like get out of that. But at the
Yes.
same time, maybe you do really love the band and you're like, I can put up with this asshole.
yeah, I mean, there is a certain amount of, well, that's just who that person is.
It would be an interesting
And
experiment.
especially if everybody agrees. Yeah. Like,
It would be an interesting experiment to see what happened, how Metallica would do, like just like a one-off show with a different drummer, and just like,
It would be night and day. That's the hardest part for Robert Trujillo is like, as a bass player, spending the rest of his life.
Yeah, but in Metallica, he's so much more locked into the guitar players than anything.
Yeah, but
because Lars is literally on another planet when he's writing when his parts are there.
Okay, so James, Lars, and James, Kirk, and Robert are like dancing, prancing down a beach.
Yeah.
And Lars is holding onto their fucking ankles.
Yeah,
How hard?
yeah.
Like, how long can you smile and look at the sunset?
For all that money, they're gonna keep
Yeah,
going.
exactly. Yeah.
Because James still talks about in interviews, like people will be like, how crazy is it that people are like singing your songs? And he's like, it's still crazy to look out into the crowd and see millions of hundreds of thousands of people like screaming, Master.
Right.
He's like, that's still crazy to me. So
He's
James
looking
is-
forward,
Yeah.
not back.
He's looking back when he hears something funny. He's
Yeah.
like, what was that, bud? But yeah, so that's that we're not broken up, but
No.
plenty of other bands, including Tenacious D. I would assume Tenacious D stays broken up. I don't think that they.
I think it's probably done. Yeah.
I mean, the only way.
Again, it seems like a thing where it's like, this isn't that big of a reason for you to do this.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
seems like this is like, oh, this is my out.
Sure.
Right.
And I think the only way that they get back together is like a big surprise years and years and years from now. And it-
30th anniversary.
yeah, something like that, or it won't be anytime. I would be shocked if it's soon, and if it is,
Yeah.
then fucking egg on my face. I'm sorry, guys, I lied to you. I've already embarrassed myself by not knowing a lot of this information. I just wanted to talk about it.
I think we've all embarrassed ourselves, and that's good. That's
I don't
okay.
I don't give a shit.
What is this show for?
What do you? What? Yeah. What is the show for?
What are people
Embarrassing
there for?
ourselves.
Oh, okay.
It's for us to embarrass ourselves.
What are you guys listening to?
It's been so long, I don't know what
Excuse me?
we were listening to last time.
That's relevant. Just say what you did. That doesn't.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Chris Stapleton, and he's so good. I know that we've already talked about Chris Stapleton on the show, but he's just so good.
It's crazy that your first thing wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's crazy you didn't just open with.
I got it. Dawes also released a single.
No, that's not what I thought you were going to say either.
Okay. I've only listened to that twice.
Sidebar.
And
Shut the fuck up. Sidebar.
I've listened to South of Here by Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats.
That's the one I thought.
That's what I expected.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna get to
That's
that.
what I
I
expected.
thought that was the first thing you were gonna fucking say. I have been without a car for over a month, so Dave's giving me a ride to work, so I work like a couple days out of the week, and every time I get in his car, he's listening to this fucking album. And
Okay.
I'm like, it's crazy. Like,
Have you listened to it on your own?
No, not yet.
You were singing along to one of the
he's
songs the
already
other
heard
day.
in your car.
He's heard the whole thing 4 times.
I wish I could say that I haven't even been listening to it. I'm just playing a prank on you, but I
You
honestly,
just pull up and you hit play.
I'm stuck with it too. I can't stop listening to it. Thank God for Chris Stapleton, because now I'm like, okay,
Now you're out.
Yeah, for this week I have something else to listen to, and it's. Oh, also I want to mention Fantastic Cat, this band that I didn't know, and Apple Shuffle or whatever was like, hey, listen to this, and I checked it out. Their album is called Now That's What I Call Fantastic Cat, and it's growing on me a lot, and I think it's really good.
Excellent.
Anyway.
I have listened to a lot of stuff, but I'll mention 2 things. Volume 3 by Webbed Wing. Webbed Wing's new album. It's incredible. It's short. I think it's great still. Like it's such a fucking good album. Banger after banger after banger. If you haven't listened to Webbed Wing, I've talked about them before. Go listen to Webbed Wing. They're incredible. And then one that keeps going on rotation for me, although it is at times not my favorite album ever, it still is just great to listen to, is an artist named Bilmuri. I know what you're thinking. It's spelled Bilmuri. So it's one word. If you ever listen to the hardcore emo band Attack, it's the lead guy from Attack. This is his solo project. This album is very y'all-alternative. So it's got like these little kind of like tinges of like country and stuff.
There's straight up ripping country guitar solos
Yeah,
on some of those songs.
But it's still very like it's got heavy stuff in it as well.
Yeah.
There's a couple singers on here that sound a little bit country as well. It's very produced is kind of my one thing, and also when you go through the album front to back, it's a little like, okay, I get it. It's 28 minutes again. It's a short album, so it's kind of impressive to have it be that short. And I get it.
It's very sorry to cut you off. It's very produced, but it doesn't sound stale.
Yeah, for sure.
It has
I
a
agree.
lot of personality and dynamic.
100%. So sorry, that album was called American Motorsports by Bilmuri. And it's a ton of fun for an album. They also you're going to hear, if you listen to it, a lot of different layers of different stuff. Like you said, they're ripping country guitar solos, a lot of that kind of stuff. But there also are saxophone solos, and there is a member of the band that is the saxophone player. Like if you see them on tour, they will have their saxophone player with them. So that is a part that I actually really enjoy about them, is they will pull off a number of they do run tracks, but they'll at least do some of it live, right? But nothing wrong with tracks, but like
It's cool to be able to do it all live, though.
it can sometimes be a bummer to hear a band or see a band that's like, oh, I hear so much happening and there's 3 of them on stage.
Right,
And I'm
yeah.
like, well, how that happened? How do we get to here at this point, right?
In this case, there's like a featured saxophone solo, and there's no saxophone player.
Yeah, but we actually have the saxophone player for this, right? So that's pretty cool. Adam, what you got?
So I got Family Business by Lawrence.
Woo!
Oh, I'm
Sure
surprised you
you
didn't
listened
mention
to.
that.
I forgot about
Yeah, because it's been a while.
Yeah.
This album's great. I assume you will agree with me.
I will actually say it's a grower, but I think it's
Okay,
great.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great, especially at the end. It's definitely heavy hitting. I was tearing up on the plane listening to it,
Oh shit!
and I was like, yeah,
I haven't gotten that far yet.
didn't
good.
expect that.
Yeah.
But great album. Some of the ordering of tracks is a little odd.
Yeah.
But the more I listen to it, but really like it, especially if you like them as a band. Like you probably ought to listen to it, but it's great.
Yeah.
And then Childish Gambino's new album, potentially final album, but probably not. Bando Stone in the New World.
It's Childish Gambino's final record, but Donald Glover
Yes.
will
Yeah.
live on.
And even then, probably not.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But it's great. It's very different. he's got songs on there that are like rock driven, like emo kind of music sounding things, and it's a kind of wild ride through Donald Glover's like mind, basically.
Yeah.
And it's intended for a movie, which we may watch.
I hope we do when it comes out.
There we go. Cool. Well, we're back. As I said earlier, we didn't break up. We broke up for a little bit, and then
We were just joshing.
we kissed and made up. We were just Drake and joshing.
Yeah.
You never watched that show, have you?
No.
You started watching SpongeBob. How's that?
We stopped.
Don't care.
Oh my god!
I had that locked and loaded.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
But you still executed it very naturally.
sounded like you cared.
And fuck you for
It sounded
that.
like I cared.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Good. I'm good at
Until
lying.
you said don't care. I'm not.
Oh, you try to fucking call down chat. Heather said you stopped.
I did stop.
Damn, dude.
Oh, okay. That says more.
It was me.
That's brutal. Why'd you stop?
I need something to keep me tethered to reality, and that is not a good way to do it.
Yeah, there's also like no plot.
No.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah.
a bad show.
Excuse me?
You're wrong. It's a good show.
There are a lot of things where that show is like only important to people because that's what they grew up with. That's the theory I stand by.
That's wrong. And I'm living proof because I did not grow up with that
You
show.
stopped watching it.
I'm going to continue watching it, and I really enjoy it. I just can't watch 2 hours of it
Okay.
at a time.
Well, that's
that's a
fair
lot
because
of
like
episodes.
yeah, each
Yeah.
episode's like 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a lot of episodes. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're saying it wasn't intended to be a movie.
I'm just laughing so hard at Heather going, "You stopped" in the chat.
I think that there's plenty of great moments in the show for people who haven't grown up with it. I grew
I
up
think
with
there
it,
are. I
so
think
I'm
it just
good.
tends to be people who grew up with it who like really like.
He's back. Look at him
lionize it.
backtracking. He's backpedaling.
we're
We're
listen-
going to break up again.
We're already going to upset Swifties. I don't want to upset SpongeBob people.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, just wait.
So
Check our Patreon. Yeah, well, let's pitch the Patreon.
So, thank you guys for watching, for listening. For those who are our avid fans, I appreciate your patience on everything. I've been paused on so many posting things, and there's really no good reason. I apologize for it. But as of tomorrow, everything on will be updated on the Patreon. So that's 2 new episodes at the very least. That is going to be us listening to the new Taylor Swift album and us watching.
That happens a lot.
And us watching Whiplash and reacting while we watch it and discussing all that kind of stuff. Both were a hell of a journey. I will say the Taylor Swift one, I had to listen to that album again so I could grab clips from it. So that's
I thought I was going to listen to that album again.
fuck. Hold on, shit, shut up. Fucking work. All right,
we run out of time on Logic again.
and it's working. What were
No,
you saying?
I
Adam?
thought I was going to listen to that album again, like give it a shot, not
Yeah.
with us just shit talking it the whole time. Because I was like, I've been on the plane a lot over
we
the
didn't
last,
shit talk it the whole time.
Well, most of the
we
time.
tried. We tried not to. I tried not to.
80% of the time. Probably.
Spoiler alert. First song, Dave goes, it's so boring.
It was the first song?
First
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Sorry, I'll cut you
But
off.
I thought that I might give it a shot. Never once crossed my mind.
No, yeah. But
I had it downloaded and title and everything, and I was like, I'm just going to remove this. I'm not going to listen to it.
I think it's a lot of fun for people to listen along with us if they have the 2.5 hours to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or split it up. It was a ton of fun. Although
We do come around on the second half, kind of.
Nope. It was a ton of fun. I like the one I enjoyed watching it again because of how ridiculous we were during it. Like,
Yeah.
it was truly like we were just struggling the entire
A
time.
descent into madness
Yeah.
is what I remember it.
We all signed up for it, but I don't think we knew what we signed up for.
No.
So that'll be on Patreon as well as us watching Whiplash. So you can watch Whiplash with us. And as you know, if you're a fan, Dave is a guy who knows a lot about jazz. So it's good to have his perspective as someone who went to jazz school
And
while
jazz
watching-
education.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, while watching Whiplash. And even if you've heard other perspectives, I think Dave's perspective is going to be probably one of the more grounded and not so just like emotional, because a lot of the perspectives were kind of like in that like reactionary of Whiplash came out, it's not like what I thought it was, and Dave's gonna have like the he has the
A bit
benefit
more
of
of
time.
a measured take.
Yeah,
Sure,
benefit of time. It's a very measured take of what. Yeah, it's perfect. That's the perfect way to say it. So that'll be on Patreon as of tomorrow. So you can go check both of those out. And if you haven't already, for everybody else, thank you for watching and listening. If you haven't already, please like the YouTube video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please follow or subscribe whatever podcast app you're using to listen to this. Those things help us out a fuck ton. If you haven't already, find us on social media, DFTA Podcast on Instagram, Don't Feed the Artist on TikTok. And if you have any topic ideas, if you want to say hi, email us at feedback@don'tfeedtheartist.com or drop a DM. We would love to hear from you. And as far as I know, this Friday...
Fun Fridays.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back with some Fun Fridays. We're going to be listening to some new music. We're back in the rotation. So come hang out with us Fridays sometime in the afternoon, usually somewhere around 3-ish. We'll go live and listen to new music, and you can drop in the chat your suggestions as well. So come hang out with us. We would love to see you guys there. I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Oh, it's going to feel good too. Fucking press the button.
Fuck off! Get your rid of town!
Yeah, I didn't have this pulled up. Let me press it again.
Fuck off!
That's nice.
Get your rid of town!
How about one more time?
Fuck off!
Just for the road.
Get your rid of town!
We'll be seeing you.